It is a joy to have your company on today's program titled The Birth of Hacksaw Ridge, the inspirational story of a devout hero.
I always dreamed about being a doctor, but didn't get much school. I can't stay here while all them go fight for me.
But you figure this war is just going to fit in with your ideas?
While everybody else is taking life, I'm gonna be saving it. And that's gonna be my way to serve.
The Birth of Hacksaw Ridge, How It All Began, by Gregory Crosby and Jean Church, is a book about the childhood and teenage years of Desmond Doss, a much admired and well-known hero of the 20th century who served as a combat medic in the U.S. Army. This is a beautiful story about how he adhered to his principles as a Christian and saved many lives without lifting a weapon. Very family-oriented and devoted to his parents and wife, Desmond always put his faith in God first, sacrificing his own life serving his country by caring for others. Corporal Desmond T. Doss was the first conscientious objector to receive America's highest military decoration, the Medal of Honor, which was presented to him by His Excellency President Harry Truman in Washington, D.C. on October 12, 1945. Protocol was broken when President Truman crossed the line on the grass separating him from the recipient. He held the hand of Desmond Doss throughout the reading of the citation. Then, Mr. President told him, "You really deserve this. I consider this to be a greater honor than being the President of the United States." The book, The Birth of Hacksaw Ridge, How It All Began, tells how Desmond grew into a man of uncompromising integrity, faithfulness, and heroism. It details the influences which secured his high moral compass. Desmond Doss loved God with all his heart and soul. He firmly followed the fundamental belief of the Seventh-day Adventists. God, the Eternal Father, is the creator, source, and sustainer of all creations. He is just and holy, merciful and gracious. So when Desmond received a calling from God to carry out special duties, he accepted this without any doubt. Geared towards younger people and families, this book will appeal to Adventists and people of all faiths looking to be inspired and uplifted. The Desmond Doss Council is an organization formed to protect and oversee Desmond's legacy and is dedicated to sharing the Live Like Doss message worldwide. The Birth of Hacksaw Ridge was published with the Council's permission, and a portion of the proceeds go to the organization. The story of his life begins on February 7, 1919, in Lynchburg, a small city in Virginia, USA. As a child, Desmond Doss was adventurous to the point of frequently injuring himself by accident. An evangelical Christian with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, he studied the Bible regularly and knew God had a plan for him. His mother, Bertha, was a devout Christian who would religiously attend church with her husband and 3 children every Saturday morning, their weekly Sabbath. Later, in the Sabbath evening, she would discuss the biblical lesson the children had learned in church. Remembering God in their daily living, Bertha also instilled nonviolence and a vegetarian lifestyle in Desmond's upbringing. Seventh-day Adventist followers accept the Holy Bible as the only source of their beliefs. One of the fundamental beliefs taught at the Sabbath school Desmond Doss attended was that God bestows spiritual gifts upon all members of his church, and that the gifts be employed for the common good of humanity. Young Desmond was perplexed, as he could not envisage the fulfillment of such a divinely ordained function for himself. His mother reassured him that whatever the good Lord had in store for him, it would come in good time. Much later, during a night of unrest with his military comrades, Desmond wrote,
"I feel a great blessing knowing that some of the men respected me so highly and asked me to pray for them because they knew the Lord was with me. And what greater joy could I have than to know God used me to help save lives that would have been lost if I hadn't been here.
Desmond Doss always exuded empathy. Following an appeal on a local radio station, he once walked 6 miles to donate blood to a complete stranger involved in an accident. He was also physically resilient. When playing wrestling with his younger brother, Harold, during childhood, Desmond would never surrender. Both these traits led to his being awarded the Medal of Honor. As a Seventh-day Adventist follower, Desmond adhered to the fundamental belief of Christian behavior, whereby people felt and acted in harmony with the principles of heaven. Entertainment should always meet with the highest standards of Christian taste and beauty, and dress should be simple and modest. Seventh-day Adventists believe their bodies to be the temples of the Holy Spirit. Therefore, it is important for them to receive plenty of plant-based nutrition and exercise. They abstain from drinking alcoholic beverages and ingesting harmful addictive substances. The Seventh-day Adventist Church traditionally has also strongly discouraged its members from bearing arms, and Desmond Doss personified that philosophy. As The Birth of Hacksaw Ridge recounts Desmond Doss's youth, we learn the story of how he met his wife, Dorothy Shute, who was a student at Shenandoah Valley Academy in Newmarket, Virginia. Originally a carpenter, Desmond Doss worked as a joiner in a shipyard. Despite his religious beliefs, he refused to avoid being drafted into military service. He enlisted as a medic, but refused to work on the Sabbath or to train with a gun. He was ridiculed and persecuted for his unyielding spiritual beliefs and his dislike of his comrades' frequently foul language. Desmond Doss's commanding officer tried to get him transferred to a non-combatant position in the military. Desmond told him, "Don't ever doubt my courage, because I will be right by your side, saving life, while you take life." Desmond Doss carried out his duties as a medic with care. Desmond Doss is portrayed hunkering down in a foxhole when his fellow soldier offers to share his food. He kindly declines, saying he is a vegetarian. Overcoming tremendous odds, Desmond Doss rescued 75 injured soldiers at Hacksaw Ridge in Okinawa, Japan, single-handedly dragging them one by one to the edge of a 400-foot steep slope to be lowered to safety. Desmond was never afraid for his own safety. No matter how great the danger, he was willing to go after a wounded comrade. He would plead in prayer, "Lord, just let me save one more." Being a Saturday, it was fitting to be doing good on a Sabbath by saving lives. Desmond's faith in God was rewarded. His heroic actions disproved any previous misconceptions about him arising from his conscientious objector status. He never once fired a shot, but became the hero of heroes. The same soldiers who had humiliated him now praised him. His life story is one of personal conviction, integrity, and selfless love. His captain said he was one of the bravest persons alive, and then to have him end up saving my life was the irony of the whole thing. Desmond Doss passed away at the age of 87 on March 23, 2006, and is buried at the Chattanooga National Cemetery in Tennessee. In his later life, he led programs to benefit veterans and others, which are detailed in the 2004 documentary, The Conscientious Objector. Gregory Crosby, one of the authors of The Birth of Hacksaw Ridge, How It All Began, together with his wife, Spice Williams Crosby, was responsible for the story of Desmond Doss reaching the big screen. The film Hacksaw Ridge, released in November 2016, was directed by Mel Gibson, with the final screenplay written by Andrew Knight and Robert Schenken. Commenting on the project, Spice Williams Crosby said that it took 17 years to bring the film to fruition and that God had lent a hand in the process, likening it to how God had worked in Desmond Doss's life. Hacksaw Ridge won the 2017 Academy Awards for Best Editing and Best Sound Mixing, and was nominated for 4 other categories, including Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Film. Our respectful appreciation for exemplary people like Desmond Doss, whose selfless courage and deep devotion to God continue to inspire and strengthen our own faith in the divine. For more information on the birth of Hacksaw Ridge, please visit thebirthofhacksawridge.com.
For do ye think the blood of beasts and birds will wash sin? I tell ye, nay, therefore ye must all speak the truth and be just. Ye must be merciful to one another, and to all creatures that live, thereby walking humbly with thy God, who loves the pure oblation only, the Essene humane gospel of Christ, Essenes.
Thank you for your company today, blessed viewers.